Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Afsa and welcome to another episode of Houses of Allah. This is a podcast series hosted on Inspire FM. In this show, we will be bringing in leaders across Luton masjids to have a deep conversation with them about their journey as well as the work that they do. Our objective is to showcase and highlight the phenomenal positive work that the Luton masjids are doing across Luton for the Luton community, not just for the Muslim community but also the non-Muslim community. As I always say, there's something in this show for everyone. If you're already involved in a masjid, then this is a platform to share best practices and get insights. And if you're not involved in a masjid, which might be the case for a majority of you, we really hope that these conversations will inspire you to get out there and get involved in your local masjid. So, today's episode is about the Luton Bury Park Masjid, which is one of the oldest masjids in Luton and also a very, very integral part of the Luton Bangladeshi community. I'm very honored to have two special guests with me today in the studio. I have Brother Abul Hussain and Brother Zuneid Ahmed. Walaikum salam. So welcome. So let's start this show with a few introductions. So introductions to yourself and your role at the Bury Park Masjid. So inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Abul Hussain. Currently I am the president and the trustee of the Bury Park Mosque and the Al-Hikma school. I've been involved with the mosque from the very beginning. Our mosque started in 1975, established in 1975.
MashaAllah.
And it is now nearly 50 years, a few months later. So it started with by purchasing one mosque. And the Bangladeshi community, especially, majority of the community came into this country in 1963. Okay. 61, 62, 63.
Okay.
With the work permit.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they slowly start to bring their family in like 68, 69, 70s. Very few families, but like this.
MashaAllah.
But then again, this 1970, quite a lot of people came in.
Yep.
I came into this country in 1970, and I went to Icknill High School.
Oh, MashaAllah.
So mosque started in 1975.
Okay.
And I can tell you what other questions you got.
I think we're definitely going to, I think the listeners will be very interested in going into that. So we will go into that, how the masjid was founded and a bit of insight into your early childhood,
Yes.
Inshallah. Could you, introduction to yourself as well?
So my name is Zuneid Ahmed. Officially, I'm the Assistant Secretary at Bury Park Masjid. Unofficially, I'm basically involved with organising youth events, talks. I also organise the school visits. I tend to do, because I work in technology, I'm an IT, within the IT industry.
Yep.
I also help out the masjid with their various IT issues and stuff as well.
MashaAllah.
Including running their website.
Okay, that's amazing. So I think one of the things that we would definitely touch upon in this show is how did the masjid start? How was it founded? Because a lot of listeners, like myself, for example, I grew up in Bury Park in the 90s, and mashallah, the masjid was already there. So we were blessed and fortunate to have the masjid. And I think the story that many of us, especially the younger generation, were not aware of is how much effort the elder generation went through in the early days to start the masjid. So So before we go into that story of how Bury Park Masjid was founded, could you tell us a bit about the early Bangladeshi community that arrived in Luton? Inshallah.
Well, I can tell you from 1970 and bit from the behind, because my father came, my uncle came, and so many people from Bangladesh. Now we came as a dependent, but before that our elder generation came, and it wasn't easy. But they had a tough time not knowing the language, not having a previous experience. But that is the time when there was a shortage of workers in this country, and people from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and many countries came to this country and established themselves.
Is that 1960s? Just
61 stars. People came a bit earlier on, but very few.
Okay.
And some of the elder generation came into they used to work in ship industry, and some of them came in 1950s, but very few. But 61, 62, 63 was the main time when these people came into this country and established themselves. And having Luton is one of the town where there was a Vauxhall Motors. In 1971, 33,000 people used to work for Vauxhall Motors only.
Wow.
And that time it was known for Vauxhall and Luton. And because of the manufacturing of vehicles, they used to have a plant in Dunstable where they used to make all the lorries and trucks. It's called Bedford trucks. So there was a big industry. And the components supplied by a lot of local farms. So that's why it was an industrial town. And it was, and that time also Luton was famous for hatters.
Okay.
The people used to make hats, famous till today. Some of the famous hats that goes around the world is made in Luton. So this, that's where it all the community came in. It was, even when we came in 1970, going to schools and things like that, not knowing the language was difficult. So we used to get picked up from the front of the Bury Park Mosque by coach. We used to go to Hicknell High School, and some people used to go to Rotherham, South Luton, on those days. And there was Denby School, there was Chonley, but more of people went to Beach Hill High School, which is now Beach Hill Junior.
Okay.
So this is how children tried to came in this country and family came in and like this. So this is the generation where they have established, find houses, things like that. But one thing of that time which I witnessed since I came in is that there was a lot of love and affection amongst the people. That today I can say some of the families don't, even brothers and sisters don't have. Because they came to a new country, sometimes you see a lot of people sleeping on the cities and things like that. But anybody came in, they would accommodate them. There was love, affection, space, food, even though they had very little, but it was all very...
everyone was like family.
Yes, family. And if they see somebody in the street, they would say, where are you from? Are you okay? Have you, because very few and somebody knew. So I saw some really, really affection. Till today, those who have lived in a house, say lodgers and tenants for a long time, they are still friends till today, those who are alive. And if they have gone, their families are related from there. There was not brother or sister or like this, but they were even... so this is how they started. And also there was a lot of love and affection amongst all the people, whether it's Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi. So especially within the Muslim community, the Westbourne Road Mosque, the central mosque was established back in 68, 69.
Oh, wow. That's very
before our Bury Park Mosque established, it was there where people start slowly going to the mosque.
Okay, and so I think it's very interesting to know, how the environment was there. So you're saying there was a need for the community to stick together and have that family environment where people would look out for each other, and there was a love that, which you're saying it was stronger in the past, which mashallah, which is really interesting. And could you tell us a bit about how the masjid was founded? So you said 1975, right?
Masjid, what happened, there was, as I said, central mosque, which we call it now. There was one mosque. And unfortunately, in 1971, there was a bit of, there was a war, and our East Pakistan, West Pakistan, we split, and Bangladesh came into existence. And because of that reason, there was a need, and more people came from Bangladesh. That place was not enough, so we sort of established a mosque, Bury Park Mosque, in 1975. But we were looking for a mosque to establish back in 70s, or just after the 71 war. And at that time, there were only 49 Bangladeshi houses in Luton. I used to go around to all the houses. I knew by those days, you don't say number 10, so-and-so road. Number 10, we know which road it was. Number 4 and 6,
everyone used to refer to each other as number.
Yes. So I used to deliver Janomat, the weekly Bangladeshi news. That was the only source of sort of news that was captured, and still today the Janawar does exist.
What year is this?
They started back in 69, I think,
Mhm.
or 67, but we were there in 1970, 71,
Mashallah.
community news. So I used to deliver one into every houses, and that money we saved goes towards the charity work for
Mashallah.
Bangladesh.
MashaAllah. And so, sounds like, so as the Bangladeshi community in Luton was increasing in numbers,
Yes.
that's when there
Families
was
start coming in.
yeah. So there was a need to have more space. And,
Yes, more space, and language was one of the barrier.
Mm,
Especially this time, not many people had known English,
mm,
and so and so. So the community was their need for. So the 1974-75 we established different. In 1974-73 there was known organization, Bangladesh Welfare Society, Bangladesh Islamic Society, Bangladesh, like this.
mm.
So slowly people was doing the Eid prayers. We used to hire hall.
Okay.
Warwick Road there was one hall for do our Eid prayers.
Okay.
And there are other small halls in the recreation center where it was available. So we used to have gathering there for Bangladeshi people to do their Eid Salah.
Okay.
And there was a mosque, and so that's how it slowly towards the religion thing.
So there wasn't like a place to pray 5 times a day,
No.
but it was like hiring community
Yes.
centers.
There was one as a central mosque,
Yeah.
because due to the war, we sort of divided, and
Yeah.
so the community, was very close.
Yeah.
I must tell you that it was very close. Whether Pakistani, Bangladeshi didn't matter. So, but unfortunately, due to the war
Yeah.
and things like that, people divided, and there was more and more people. This only used to be one house in Central Mosque, one house, and so slowly the congregation got bigger and bigger, and then we established our mosque, and that's where we start to give. We bought one house
Yep.
from the auction for £5,500,
Mashallah.
and then we started slowly.
Is that the current location?
Where we are?
Okay.
Number 25 Bury Park Road was the first house we bought.
Okay. And then when that house was purchased, was it like children studying?
Everyone donated for that. We collected them, and then the children used to go to the mosque 5 to 7, like we do today.
Yeah.
And first 3 years we couldn't afford to employ a imam, full-time imam. So myself, my father, Muqaddas Ali late, and late Abdul Wahid Sahab, and Abdul Malik Chaudhry Sahab, who were trustees of the mosque, they used to teach children to start. So first 3 years, congregation was small and less people, and less people used to frequent to the mosque. Unfortunately, the people who are busy 6 days, 7 days, they used to work in less, and Islamically there was less thing. But Alhamdulillah, Friday used to get full up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So mashallah, it started off with one single house, and that must have been a brave, it was a big thing.
Nowadays, it is those days it was a big thing.
Yeah.
Because 1975 there were very few mosques in England.
Yeah.
Very, very few. 1976, one of the first Jamaat that came into I think there was a very pious sheikh from Bangladesh, from Sylhet. He came in, and through these efforts, people went to houses, invite people, Jamaat work start, and the big scholars start to come in slowly. So that's how the congregation and everything start going. So those days it was a big thing, a place of worship, for the mosque available. Because when somebody passed away, there was no funeral place so we used to do our funeral prayers behind the co-op, where this co-op now, funeral service still there.
Yeah.
We used to do our funeral prayers there as well.
Oh, okay. SubhanAllah. And back then there was no established funeral services.
The graveyard started in 1958.
Okay.
So first grave took place 1958.
And so around the 1970s time, you were young probably,
yes.
but you have your memories, right? You remember, so what kind of what was Luton like back then compared to now?
Today it's a lot of difference. Today we have 50,000-60,000 Muslims
Yeah.
and so many, and the Luton got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Mm.
But those days it was a small town,
Mm.
Vauxhall was main attraction,
Mhm.
and football team was already there.
Mhm.
So there were quite a lot of things. Luton is like a central to us.
Mhm.
We've been living there since like now 55 years. So
Mhm.
what happened is that it's close to the London,
Mhm.
close to Heathrow Airport, close to M1. So it's a nice place.
Yeah.
In this way, we didn't have university then. We had a technical college then.
Okay.
University used to be called Luton Technical College.
Okay. Okay.
And things like that. There was an Anden Center,
Mhm.
but on that Anden Center place there was library, and then there was an open marketplace, like olden marketplace.
And then I think from the 80s and the 90s, mashallah, the masjid
Things have
just grew-
changed. Things have changed.
the masjid must have it grew bigger, right?
Much bigger.
And could you tell us a bit about the story of the growth? Maybe even if you've witnessed it as well.
I've witnessed it more as a child growing up.
Okay.
So I remember,
Mhm.
I think that my first memories of it were 2 houses.
Yeah.
And then there was like a overgrown garden at the back.
Okay.
And we used to go in and pray with. So I actually remember when Mufti Sahib first came.
Mhm.
He was one of my first ustads.
Mashallah.
But prior to that, we had Bora Sahib. Also, his proper name was Abdul Wahid. So at that time, he was known as Bora Sahib. So he was one of my first ustads as well.
Okay.
So he was known because of his size.
Oh,
And a lot of the children were scared of him simply because of how he looked. But he's
Yeah.
actually a big
Yeah.
softie. His children, are, mashallah, they still live in Luton.
Oh, mashallah.
So, alhamdulillah, my earliest memories are all
What
around-
year are we talking about? Your
So,
childhood memories, like
from about early 80s.
80s. So that's
Yeah.
when the masjid was like starting.
Starting to
Two houses,
build.
you said.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
Yes.
2 houses,
Yes.
then
Only
3
we
houses.
bought for another
Yeah.
house, then we bought another house like this.
Okay.
Now it's standing on 4 houses.
Okay.
21, 23, 25, 27.
Oh, mashallah. Mashallah.
So we used to live on Bury Park Road.
Mm.
So Bury Park Mosque was like very close to us.
Mhm.
So we used to go there on a regular basis. And
They were the first line of children come to the mosque.
Okay, I
and
see.
they're sort of growing up in this town like that.
And there was probably
The first 3 person who were trustee or the founder,
Yep.
first person was late Abdul Bari,
Mm-hmm.
who used to have Bari and Son shop in Cromwell Road. He was a
Okay.
businessman, and we started from like him. And then this Abdul Wahid later on, and
Mhm.
Abdul Malik Chaudhry. So these 3 persons were like the first trustees, and they lasted till they passed away sort of situation.
So they had this vision from
Yes,
back
beginning
then where
to
they want.
establish something that
Yeah.
helps the community,
Mhm.
because mosque is just not only for praying,
Mhm.
but there was no other sense of community. It was belonging to
Mhm.
go. If you are in trouble, where do you go? Till today,
Mhm.
if somebody passed away, where do you go? If somebody is very ill and went to do prayer, where do you go?
Yeah.
If we want all sorts of help, that was community based. Before there used to be welfare association,
Yep.
and people would get together in some time, in months and
Mhm.
things like that, and they used to have gathering and things like that.
Yeah.
But since the mosque has
Yeah.
started, every community, it is a base,
Mhm.
like where people go and for all their needs and things like that.
So I think this is amazing because we've touched on the history of how the Bangladeshi community came,
Yeah.
how it started with just the one house, but
Yes.
before that it was like booking out halls.
Yes, yes.
Now we have like the Al-Hikma school.
Yes.
Could you tell us a bit about how that started? How
Yes,
did it?
we had a vision of opening a school where we can provide education, full-time type of education for Islamic learning
Mhm.
for the girls and the boys.
Mhm.
So we started with the boys
Mhm.
because then about 20 years ago there were very few
Early 2000s.
female. About 20 years ago, 2005, 6.
Okay.
So we bought a property in just near to the mosque, which
Mhm.
is like 82 to 86 Dunstable Road.
Oh, in the Bury Park, the
Yes.
high street.
So
Yeah,
that's why we bought it. It has a long garden, so it could give us and also children would go there study and like that. Because
Mhm.
by that time we had 2 or 3 houses. There wasn't
Mhm.
enough space
Mhm.
for all the children to come.
Mhm.
So now because there are 32, 33 mosque now
Mm-hmm.
in Luton and place, and few children go. At that time, there was only 2 mosques, so the
Yeah.
children, there was very little space. So that's why we bought one house by another house and make it bigger, because the community was growing. So is the worshippers, so is the children growing up.
And Al-Hikma obviously is a full-time school, right?
Al-Hikma started, say about 20 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And that was with the aim of doing a full-time school and madrasa. Till today, alhamdulillah, it's going.
Okay.
It's doing about 200 girls and 100 boys. Few more or less, but this is where we are now at this moment.
Prior to the establishment of Al-Hikma, a lot of the students who wanted to go into more further education with regards to Islam, so for example, Hafiz class or Alim class, they used to go to the boarding schools, for example, Darul Bury, Kidderminster Madrasa.
Yeah.
I myself went, my brother went, a lot of our friends went. Alhamdulillah, Mufti Sahib was integral in that encouragement of getting these children to kind of progress from studying just in maktabs to actually wanting to go into the sciences of Islam in a lot more detail. So he kind of encouraged all of us to go to madrasa, become huffaz, become ulama. So a lot of the ulama and huffaz in Luton and surrounding areas are now all of Mufti Sahib's ex-students.
Okay, mashallah. So it sounds like a pivotal moment,
Yeah.
because what happened is we went from children's maktab, where you just go after school, you go and do 2 hours or 1 hour,
Yeah.
to a full-time where Al-Hikma they teach all the subjects, maths, English,
Yes,
science, and
yes.
everything, and now it's been running for
Yes.
over 20 years now.
Yes, yes.
So mashallah. And
So we know total in last all these years,
Mhm.
we have more than 100 people who become Hafiz and Alim from Al-Hikma.
from Al-Hikma,
Al-Hikma.
wow.
And people also have gone into different fields after qualifying or finishing their high school. They went to academically to the universities, colleges, and things like that. And alhamdulillah, one of the inspiring things in the history of our mosque is also our Imams.
Yes.
So the first Imam, late Maulana Lutfur Rahman Sahab, he was very inspiring and very pious person, but he passed away unfortunately. And back in 1984, we got Mufti Abul Hussain Sahab. The
1984. So
yeah, something of that day. So it's nearly 40 years now since he's here.
Subhanallah, it's a
Imam.
very long service.
But he's a very unique person. Hafiz, Alim, Mufti, Qari, all these things has got lot of human quality beside the knowledge. So alhamdulillah, he guided us and the town and everybody else through England, through Europe and many countries. He's one of the top.
He's known around the world, right?
He's now known around the world
Mashallah.
for in his field, like this. And his classmate was very known. One of them is like Mufti Taqi Usmani, and people like these are his classmates and things like that. So very good. So his was one of the pillars of guiding the community towards the learning of Islam and following. So may Allah make him healthy now. He's not very well.
Ameen. And just to touch on that, so it sounds like Al-Hikma was like, before Al-Hikma was like a way of giving people in Luton the opportunity to study Islam and your academic in one place, rather than having to, of course the boarding schools are amazing as well, but it gives children from Luton the opportunity to stay in Luton with their families and do both, pursue academic success and in the deen as well, in the studying the deen. And I know many people from Al-Hikma as well. MashaAllah, they've done very well both in deen and career.
Today we don't have found the scholars to lead our prayers, to lead our. At the moment, Mufti Maqbul, who is the Hafiz Alim and Mufti, who's leading the Bury Park Mosque Imam. He is of Al-Hikma student. So many of them has become like that. They went on to do PhD as well. We have got students from Al-Hikma doing PhD. Some of them going to very top schools, universities. So, even if somebody, the Al-Hikma has produced so many hundreds of, well, even if you don't become Hafiz and Alim, or you could not proceed in this line, at least you learn the basic of how to read Quran, how to do your salah, how 24 hours life of Islamic things in a proper way. and then proceed with your voter. So you can take Islam with you in the offices and other places, wherever you move.
Exactly.
And move with the time. Make a good human being. Our aim is to make everybody a good human, good Muslim.
Exactly. So
Good
both
Muslim.
in this deen and dunya, basically.
Yes.
And we're just finishing off the first segment, but just to give the listeners a understanding of how big the masjid is, what is the numbers of attendees for, like, say, Jummah, Taraweeh?
Jummah is around about 1,600 to 2,000 people.
Okay, mashallah. And Taraweeh is probably similar numbers?
It's about similar numbers.
Similar numbers.
I mean, with Jummah, we have a late Jamaat as well, a late congregation.
Oh, that's a very good facility.
And we basically organised that because a lot of the students, they wanted to attend after school or after college. Also, we got people who are working in offices, so they needed something to attend to.
Okay.
So, alhamdulillah, we get about 400, 500 people attend the late Jummah. So.
Mashallah, that's amazing. We will go into more about the wonderful services in the second segment. So we'll just end the first segment for the break, inshallah. Thank you. Inshallah.
Stay informed, entertained and engaged. Check out our new website, inspirefm.org.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome back to the second segment of Houses of Allah. On this episode, we have Brother Abul Hussain from Bury Park Masjid. And so far, we talked about how the Bangladeshi community came to Luton in the early days, how the Bury Park Masjid was formed, and we also touched on the story about how Al-Hikma was formed and the services that Al-Hikma provides. So we'd like to carry on, inshallah. So we want to talk about the different services that the masjid provides just for the whole community. So could you tell us a bit about the school visits? So we know that the masjid is very open to schools coming in and seeing the masjid.
Yes. We do many services. Like at this moment, it's one of the busiest mosques around south of England. We start sometimes 6:30 and activities go till midnight. Such as, the starting with from Fajr, and then we have the school, Al-Hikma school, girls and boys. We started, although we have got two different properties now, initially we started from the mosque.
Okay.
And there was some rooms in the back where it is now.
I see.
So we had to renovate the whole building and get it started. So Al-Hikma school started from the mosque. Some of the rooms were used, and for many years we used those places. So the children start coming 7:30, and go on.
Okay.
So when they finish 3:30, 4 o'clock, then at 5 o'clock, the 4:30, another lot of students come in.
Oh.
They are the younger ones for Maktab. It goes till 7:30, then the prayers, then the Jamaat, all these activities, Jamaat, people come and go into people's houses, invite them, there is Bayan. Then there are Ijtemas, after a certain time, every 3-4 months, there is a special gathering for students, for elderly. And during every, so often, many scholars come in. So a lot of their talks takes place in the evening.
Okay.
When the people are back from work, 7:30 like this. So we had many
So it sounds
people.
like throughout the day
through
it's
my this 50 years of history, I can say that people from all the countries in the world came to Bury Park.
Mashallah.
From different countries, through the Jamaat, through a lot of scholars came for giving talks. Lot of charities where people come for collection of funds for charities. Whether it's Muslim Aid or Islamic Relief or like this, and also for other the Maktab, madrasas throughout the world, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Africa, and till today we have got so many people. We are booked all through the year, day and night. People coming from different part of the world, poor and needy, and we support them with whatever we can. And then we have another very special, beside the 5 times prayer, the Jummah prayers. And then there is what we call funeral prayers. We established the first funeral service in Luton. And it is now about 34, 35 years when we started. Started in 1990.
Okay.
And so the funeral service started. So this is a very unique service. One have to be dedicated and have love for this job, because many a time people don't want to come near the, unfortunately. So in the beginning, they never used to, there wasn't hardly anybody. My father and there was 2-3 other elders who used to carry out the washing
Yes.
And then my mother-in-law and other people started ladies' side and something like that. So there were very few people
Yes.
who would come for the washing and burying. So we established that back in 90s after my father passing away. So this is a unique service. Why? Because people are desperate at that time and they need help. And all hours. That's why even though I'm very sick and old, my phone stays open 24 hours. Because whenever people phone you,
Yes.
they need you.
Yes.
Advice, going to hospitals late in the
And
evening.
death is such a sensitive
So it's
issue.
sensitive issues. And
Yeah.
people need support and comfort and right guidance.
Mm.
What to do next.
Mhm.
Because we have so many people, some of them give different type of advice. Plus, every different towns in this country have slightly different procedure.
Mhm.
So in Luton, we know, and very helpful, I would say, compared to other counties, the Luton Hospital, the bereavement service, the registrar, the graveyard, all are very helpful towards this.
So you work with the hospitals,
everywhere,
the funeral
yes,
services.
yes.
So could you tell our listeners something? Because I think with the funeral services,
Yeah.
many people might not know how much effort goes into.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah, like because I've heard stories like even people from outside of Luton, you serve.
Yes, like the community around the things, like for example, St. Albans, Harpenden, Watford, Hemel Hempstead, Chesham, Milton Keynes, Bedford. So these area, we were the first started, and that's why many people come. And even till today, even though something happens, I will be advising them from here to Milton Keynes, Bedford, and other places. Or now that some of the mosque has happened in different towns, and their service has been taking place, but still, and sometimes people from Luton.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, due to their illness, they go into different towns, London and different big hospital, Cambridge Hospital, London, different. So if they pass away over there, we have to go and fetch them from those far distances. So this is something that sometimes it's
Bringing the body to Luton.
3-4 days goes by behind the scene work, phoning the council, phoning the charity for the coroner. And it's not easy.
No, of course.
But Alhamdulillah, it's not only we do the service, but it's not only, I can't say claim it myself, the community, the councillors. Recently, our Chishti, Imam Chishti Sahab, also has put a lot of Qurban Hussain, Councillor Qurban Hussain, and many other councillors who gave a lot of their time. So these people help in the community together, providing the funeral service and behind the scene work for the council to provide service, for the hospitals to come forward, the coroner service to speed up it. Because as a Muslim, we need the burial to take place straight away. So how does it happen? So all these people's combined effort. So our Luton, sometimes when I go to visit other towns, I find how lucky we are and how helpful these organizations are to helping us.
And what drives you to put so much effort in? Because
it's hard work, but it's love. This is nothing. Love for Allah and His Rasul and for Deen. And trying to help community. Because this is one of the time people need help. And for all communities, from all different type of communities.
Yes.
This is the Cockney Mosque now established. We've carried out there. Madina Masjid, many of the funeral service we provide because they haven't got the facility. But if somebody was affiliated to Madina Masjid, we will take the body, wash them, get them ready, and provide the service. We go to the Madina Masjid and give the funeral service over there, taken to the graveyard. So is the Cockney Mosque and other communities, Somali Mosque, Turkish Mosque, and other, whoever comes to us, the Arabian community, they all come to us, then we help them.
MashaAllah. And I think that's something that, it's an amazing facility that we have in Luton. That, it's not like each mosque keeps to themselves. There's a bit of inter-mosque
yes.
communication.
And the Jalalabad start, then our central mosque started, then Chishti Sahib mosque. Because before, as you know, our brothers, Pakistani community, used to send a lot of the deaths back home.
Yeah.
But things have changed now, and they're all doing the burial here.
Okay.
So there's a lot of jobs, money, things goes behind the scene to bury here.
Yes.
And it's a very good, unique thing. Tarek Bhai from Central Mosque, Chishti Sahib, and the Jalalabad Mosque. They're doing great, every one of them doing great service, the time of need.
And mashallah, it's
And
good to
there
hear
are
this.
sometimes, I know it's not nice thing to say, but community don't have enough funds straight away. Not every family has got 3,000 pound ready waiting. But because of the mosque, we have our accounts. We provide the money for the burial, and they pay us afterwards.
Okay.
Some of them, those who cannot pay straight away, we help them. Like it might take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or whatever the time is, to pay back the cost, because not every family has got 3,000 pounds saved. It costs really 3,000 pounds at this moment. So this is one unique thing. Then the other service that we provide, the wedding ceremonies that goes nikah. This is another big thing. It takes a lot of time and consuming to get this thing. Men, women, people converting to Islam. There's another service we provide, giving time, explaining to them, explaining why they want to become Muslim or things like that. So it's another service. Somebody has to spend their time and like this. And the police and the councils and the police, many of them, they come 20, 30 from around the country. They want to know how the community works, how Bangladeshi community and different community works, how the Islam.
So like the doors are open for
and
people
the
to come and
visits,
learn.
Sometimes 200, sometimes 150 students come from high school to junior school to, So recently we got another one coming from Hartford. So people from different community where the children haven't seen the mosque. The teachers not aware of so many things. They come and they learn, and we give them whatever the question they ask, and they leave happily, knowing. Sometimes they think, what's in this mosque? What is inside? Exciting.
They're curious.
But they come and see that it's only 4 walls, nothing.
And mashallah, obviously they get to ask questions, interact,
yes. And we have
and learn about Islam as well.
Yes, they learn about Islam. Then we have open days.
Open days.
Yes, we don't do every year, but sometimes 2 years, every 1 year. So we have open days where people from all religion, they come. In hundreds and hundreds.
Okay. Mashallah. So I think we've heard, you've touched on...
And so many other things we do.
It sounds like Bury Park Masjid is
very
24
busy.
hours. It's just like something's going on from Fajr all the way till Isha, whether it's the schools, the salat, the classes, the open days, many
and
things.
We are one of the close mosques to the Bury Park, what we call the shopping center. So people from different towns always come. So people have praying facilities, but there are not all the mosques have full ladies facilities. So when people come, the ladies want to pray. We have ladies room, ladies wuzu area, and everything else.
That's my next. That's actually my next question. So a lot of masjids, in Luton, alhamdulillah, we have lots of sisters facilities.
Yes.
Could you tell us about the sisters facilities in Bury Park Masjid for the listeners who might not know?
No, it is. Well, the praying facilities are there for whenever the ladies come or sisters come. We have ladies classes anyway. We have 200 students at this moment. 200 boys and girls come for doing the maktab.
So it's after school.
So nearly 400 girls, children comes. 400 girls come every day. So full-time school and others. So it's a busy all day long. So we have got facilities. There are big rooms for the ladies, small room for the ladies, because every time there's a funeral take place, the ladies are also one major part now.
Yes,
because people come from Rishtedar, the families from different part of the country. Sometimes from overseas. So where do they go for their prayer in wudu? So the ladies come to visit their loved ones, family members. So they also room for, while their janazah goes on, the prayer facilities, washing facilities. We spend nearly 100,000 plus money for a new room, washroom. The latest, all the things, the facilities available, washroom, these.
So ladies have their own wudu facilities and their own
separate
prayer
even in the room, attached bathrooms.
Okay.
So they don't have to go out in the men's side. And children toilets, bathroom separately for, safeguarding. So it's a lot of things.
So something you touched on just in the conversation was about the lots of visitors from out of the country that come for Jamaat. So for the listeners that might not know about Jamaat, could you tell us a bit about Jamaat?
Everybody knows about that. It's called Tabligh Jamaat.
Tabligh Jamaat.
So our aim and objective is a Muslim thing, is to invite people towards the good things.
Yes.
For Muslim, for non-Muslim, there are sessions where they take place. So mostly this work is directed to the Muslim people, trying to those who are not so practicing to bring them into practice of their deen.
Yes.
So we go to visit houses, peoples, and talk about Islam deen. And we also encourage people to go out in path of Allah.
Okay.
So those who go out in groups, 5, 10 like this, to different areas.
Yes.
So at the same time, that we invite people toward goods and stop them from the evil is to stop. If they are doing good things, automatically they leave the bad things.
Okay.
So that's how Jamaat work around the world,
Yeah.
where people go and spend some time, 40 days, 10 days, 20 days, whatever,
Yeah.
and they learn about practically bringing the Sunnah into their life, understanding of Islam, practicing of Islam. Because like anything else, you can't make a cup of tea without knowing how to make a cup of tea. So how to practice deen, how to give dawah to other brothers, how to talk with people, how to behave with people. So that's why Alhamdulillah, our mosque is 5 time prayers, also always busy. During the Zuhur time, we got 300-400 people.
Yeah.
Fajr time, 100-150 people. So this is because the barakah of
That's what is quite attractive for
very all the
Jamaatis
time
to-
people are coming and going and learning, and always you find in the mosque when you go in different times out of prayer times, people are learning Quran, people are teaching Quran, people are just because of so many hafiz, they are always sitting in the corners of the rooms and mosque. So the mosque is always busy with amal, with a
Yes.
good action.
Yes.
You feel when you go in the mosque, you feel nur there because
Yes.
the study of Quran is going round to the after Isha or after Maghrib, different time of the adults classes goes on.
SubhanAllah.
The men, those who are like. For ladies also there are facilities. They come every Saturday, 11 till 1. Elderly ladies start
Yes.
50, 60 years old to learn.
Yes.
For younger ladies, they also session. So for young youth also. So it's
The
so
services
many.
for everyone.
Yeah,
Everyone
there is
all
there is
ages,
something for yes,
and,
yes.
And so that's you mentioned earlier that people from all around the world
Yes,
have
yes,
visited
yes,
Bury
yes,
Park
yes,
Masjid.
yes.
That's quite interesting.
Yes,
and that's
yes,
through
yes.
the work of
Work
the
of
Jamaat.
Dawat, yeah,
Yeah,
Jamaat,
Dawat. So I think that's very interesting. So another topic we want to talk about is inter-masjid activities, because there are some, how do you
But
work with other masajids?
We have relationship like Council of Mosque. We have we work through all the mosques together, and we are also part of Council of Faith. So the people from different faiths, there is an organization in Luton, grassroots, and like so we have a meeting and activities going around the year. So sometimes they will come to our mosque, sometimes they will go to different mosque, Gurudwara, church, like this, and interfaith events and things like that, which kept our town. Whatever happens, we are united.
Yes.
Luton is a unique town. What they call politically is the worst town, but I don't count myself or our town as like this. We have so many good things that goes into our town.
Exactly.
For Muslim and non-Muslim.
Exactly. And that sounds very inspiring. And so.
And I'm also Bury Park also part of another 4 mosques.
Yes.
Like for example, I am the trustee of the Bury Park Mosque, Al-Hikma School. We have a Ligre Mosque where I'm trustee. Bilal Mosque, we am also trustee. Heartland Education, I am also trustee. So I look after
all sort spread out across Luton.
And all the other mosques, I feel part of it. Masjid Noor, there's Zuhri, and other mosques, alhamdulillah, Zakaria Mosque and everything else.
And I think that shows like the different part. They're all these masjids that you've just mentioned. They're all spread across the town, right?
Yes.
It's not just that's how you're serving. Not just a specific area in Luton. It's pretty much across the town, mashallah. That's very inspiring to know. So we also wanted to talk about, during the Ramadan time, there is a public iftar. Could you tell us a bit about that?
Yes. We have an iftar service where we'll have at least 300 people every day coming. And that 300 people, I know local people, mostly they do their iftar at home.
Yes.
So we give 13 minutes to 15 minutes after iftar for people to do their iftar at home and come to the mosque, those who are very near.
Yeah.
But there are quite a lot of vulnerable members in our community as well. And some of the youngsters where they haven't got the time to make the iftari.
Yes.
And also cannot have a lavish one, affordable in the.
Yeah.
So they come to the mosque, and they also come because they want to do their prayers with the Jamaat.
Yes.
So we got 300 to 400 people every day.
Every
coming.
day during
every
Ramadan.
day.
It's got
Probably
big-
yourself,
yeah.
you may have
Yes.
witnessed. So they come. So
Yes.
people from the public, they donate for. Some people provide food for every day. Some people provide the water. Some
Okay.
people provide the rice. Some people this. And we have 4-5 brothers voluntarily. They cook every day.
Every day
Every day they cook and provide the fresh
during Ramadan.
Ramadan.
Mashallah. That's their kind of good deed.
And we
that
also
they do.
serve tea
Mhm.
for after iftar
Mhm.
and like this.
Mashallah.
So we have 100 pints of milk every day.
Subhanallah. That's a lot.
Plus so many things.
Yeah, and I think something that I heard is like it's this iftar that's every day during Ramadan. You said 300 or more people.
Yes.
It's not just Muslims.
No.
There's also non-Muslims
There
are
are some
invited,
mo-
open to
sometimes,
come.
yes, they come.
There's no like restrictions. It's
No,
just
no, no.
Muslims.
Sometimes we have 15, 20 sisters who come as well. They go to university. They haven't got time to cook, or they will just pop in, do
Yes.
their prayers. And also from last year we started providing bigger facilities for ladies Taraweeh.
Yes.
So they also come. Some of them they stay after iftar, do their ibadat, and finish their Taraweeh. Those who are students and things. So do their Taraweeh and then they go home.
Okay. Okay. Mashallah. So last year the Taraweeh for
Yes,
sisters
yes,
was
yes.
established. Mashallah. Really, that's
Because we don't have enough space. Taraweeh is so full, we don't have enough space.
Okay.
But from last year we are providing a room.
Yeah, I can imagine because it's one of, like we said, it's
Very busy.
Yeah. Could you tell us a bit about? Mashallah, we've touched on various services. You've very concisely have explained a lot of the services. Mashallah. One point maybe I've probably missed is that this masjid is an integral part of the Luton Bangladeshi community. So could you tell her, and that's why we're seeing like lots of people attending. So how does the masjid play a huge role for the Bangladeshi community? Let's say,
Bangladeshi, but we also provide services because these are already two different. And in our mosque, we have people from all different countries.
Yes.
They all come here. Some of the community from 50 years now, they all come and they're coming. Their children, grandchildren, they're coming.
Mashallah.
So they could be from a Pakistani community, from Cockney community, from Indian community, doesn't matter. But they all come. And Arabian, because it's a prayer place and like this.
Yep.
Recently, many people come from Europe and they find a comfort zone here. And as you know, the Bury Park they have established European cafe shops.
Oh yeah,
so all of them, lot of them, they just come to either Cockney Mosque or they come to us.
Yes.
To Bury Park Mosque and there are a lot of social issues. Are I just go for disputes, family disputes and family things like that. And so I play a lot of part in this one, resolving so many issues that could have led to very big things.
So this kind of shows that the masjid is not just a place.
Now masjid is a very, very vital and it is the only hub for community to come.
Yes.
To. Recently we have purchased a building very close to our mosque and this is especially providing community service.
Yes.
Because many a times we cannot provide all the facilities for the elderly.
Yes.
For now a lot of our community are ill because of dementia.
Yes.
Elderly people, young people, drug issues. For all this, we have nearly purchased a new place now. And we have already discussed and putting into our programs how we can accommodate all these issues. Mosque related people can come to when there is issues and so many other issues community. I can go on telling, but in
of course,
limited time.
Yeah. So I think that's what the next part was about. This, the new property that was purchased. So that's a project that's. I know it's only happened recently. So you probably in the planning phase.
Every week there is 3, 4, 2. Not exactly every week, but if you divide, people are coming to accept Islam.
Yes.
Ladies, men. Yes. So this is another good thing. Over the years, hundreds of people came to accept Islam.
Yes, mashallah. And as one of the oldest and large masjids in Luton, do you see Bury Park Masjid as having a responsibility to kind of lead in terms of how other masjids should operate?
No, we have a good relationship with all the mosques.
Yeah.
We all love each other. And provide different kind of similar type of service to same things are been asked by different communities to the same place.
Yes.
So And through many things, when you Google it, Bury Park comes as a like fast mosque in Luton
Yes.
because of the AB. So
Yeah,
many people during the Eid time we have 4, 5, 6 jamaats. So nearly 7,000-8,000 people come in the Eid day. We have to do like this. So every year.
And logistically, it must be. How do you operate that? Like,
by hourly.
Okay.
We start from 7 o'clock, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30,
Wow.
goes on. Huge service. So people now from Europe, and from like Bosnia, Kosovo, there are Muslim people from Albania, Romania. So they also come,
MashaAllah.
especially Eid time and Jummah time, and they also for weddings and things like that. So whoever comes, we things that we don't make much publicity. That's that's why.
I think one episode is not probably enough to showcase all the services that Bury Park Masjid provides, but you have done a brilliant job of telling us. So we've just got about a minute or so left.
Yeah.
So could you, in a minute, could you summarize what the future vision is for Bury Park Masjid? What do you see the future of Bury Park
We
Masjid?
got the community and younger generation involved, men and women and everybody else. And our visions is to to provide facilities for Muslim, and we want to be good citizen to non-Muslim.
Yeah.
And we live in this country. We share our love and affection, and whatever there is a need and help. Various charities we support. Some of them are Muslim, some of them not Muslim related, but to help. For example, for Luton and Dunstable Hospital, for the Luton Hospice, for other charities that are not only Muslim based or Islam based, is for general public, forever. So these are. We also provide part from NHS. Vaccine. There's so many things that goes in our mosque. As I said, there is so many things goes on.
Yeah.
So to reach out to the community where they come. So those are the good services, dementia, healthcare, and other facilities. They all come to us, and we provide that. And I want to say thank you to the Inspire team, for you, brother, and here our Tariq Bhai and Jafar Bhai, to establish a radio station like that, where so many things you carry out as well in this through this. I thank you.
Jazakallah khairan for your time. It was very inspiring. We went from the history of the Bangladeshi community to how the masjid was formed and the multiple services that Bury Park Masjid provides, not just for Muslims but also non-Muslims. We've heard so many different inspiring stories. Inshallah, Jazakallah khairan for your time. And thank you for listening. Thank you.